All right. Well, good morning, everybody. This is Matt Galogli with SRP Medical Marketing coming to you to talk a little bit about scale. We're going to talk specifically about what is required to scale your practice from low to mid six figures and get it to mid seven figures, and quite frankly, do that in a very short amount of time. Not uncommon to see practices that we work with scale their practices to those kind of levels within a year. And so we're going to talk specifically about that. This one will be a little bit shorter than most. I'm going to do a couple of these today actually related around scale. So the thing you want to know is that, scaling your practice up to mid seven figures is not as hard as you think. In fact, for many practices, it can be done with your current patient flow. It can be done with the current number of people on your staff. Some staff may need to change, but really it just takes a couple of really small changes and adjustments, especially if you are in the insurance space. So if you're a medical practice that is taking insurance, I'm going to talk to you specifically about a few things that you can do to dramatically scale that practice. So before we go into this, I just want to say this. If your practice and you take insurance and you are making less than $200 reimbursement rate for an office visit, then what you want to do is right below here in the comments, you want to type the word scale, S-C-A-L-E, scale, or you can private message me here via Facebook or on LinkedIn or wherever you happen to be watching this, but just in the comment section, type the word scale. And the reason why is I am going to be working with 4 practices. I'm going to be choosing 4 practices that are insurance-based, and I am going to work with them specifically on how to scale their medical practice to mid seven figures. So if you're doing, let's say you're doing $25,000 a month, we can help you scale all the way up to, say, $165,000 to $200,000 per month, and do that literally within 6 short months and beyond. So just type the word scale. We can take those. I'm more than happy to show you how to do that. And the great thing about it is you succeed, we succeed. All right, so let's talk about scale, all right? So this is an important topic. When it comes to gaining freedom in your practice, it really is going to come from scale. It's not going to come from you doing a better procedure per se, or you getting more training on the medical side of things. It's really going to be about you creating a scaling mindset for you and for your team. Now, the interesting thing about scale, when I speak with doctors about scaling up their practice, is they're kind of fearful about it. They are very scared, or not scared, but they're fearful about a couple of things. Is one, the trend that they have seen on a regular basis is that as their practice grows, so does their payroll. So do all of their expenses. Now, you would expect that, you're going to have some expenses increase. I mean, obviously, if you're seeing more patients, or if you're doing more for those patients, it's not uncommon that you would see some of your medical supply expenses go up, but those are incremental costs. But if every time you turn around and you're doing another $10,000 a month and your staff is coming to you and saying, we need more people, that's a bad sign, okay? That's not what you want. Is you should reach a point with scale where you should be able to max out your staff and not have to add any more people, or maybe an occasional person here or there. And the issue for many folks, so that's the first one, is that as they scale, they're going to be doing more in revenue, but they're not going to be bringing any more profit in because of the fact that they have more staff and they have more expenses. The second fear that doctors have is that they will lose control. They'll lose control about what's being said on the phone, about how a claim is being handled, about how somebody is dressing, or how a procedure is handled, or any of this. And the reality is that when you're doing $25,000 a month, it's pretty easy to be involved in every step of the process. There is some challenges as you grow and as you scale to take those processes and to systematize them so that you know that actually you're not losing control, you're actually gaining more, which then leads me to my third point. And the third point is this, is that doctors worry that their standard of care is going to slip as they scale. Now, this is really the big one, right? This is the one that that when I speak with doctors, that concerns them the most, that gives them the biggest fear. And the reason why is you've done such a great job of kind of nurturing and growing this patient base And then what happens when I bring in a PA? Well, I can't be in I can't be in the room all the time because that completely defeats the purpose. So what you want to do is you have to create a very specific culture. You have to create a way that things are done. I'm a big sports fan. And I'll tell you this real quick story here in just a minute and how this relates to running a successful practice. But I want to remind you that if you are currently a practice that takes insurance and it's your primary source of income, is insurance reimbursement, and your office visit reimbursements are less than $200 per visit, then what you need to do is you need to contact me directly, or you need to type the word scale in the comments below. And I am looking for 4 clinics that are primarily insurance-based that we can work directly with, and we're going to help you take those office visit reimbursements from, say, $80 to over $350 per visit without adding anything else back in. We have a program that we have been working on, and we joint venture with a group, and it's called Strategic Coding Optimization. Okay, this is not medical billing. This is strategic coding optimization. And the best part about it is that as you succeed, we succeed. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, type the word scale below and we'll be in contact with you. So let's go back to this story, okay? So when I was growing the practices, when I was growing the ED clinics, we went very quickly from having 4 people on staff, and it was myself and my business partner and the doctor and like 1 front desk person, to very quickly having 12 people in the office. And then once we opened up our second office, which was 45 minutes north of town in Lake Norman, that created a whole different set of issues. How did we know that things were getting done in the right way? We had a PA up there. How did we make sure that we were giving the same standard of care across each and every single clinic? And then it got even more interesting when we opened up Raleigh. And here's what we did, is that I took a page right out of the San Francisco 49ers. Now I'm talking not the San Francisco 49ers football team of today that's like a mess. I'm talking about the San Francisco 49ers of the Bill Walsh days, of the George Seifert days, of the Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young days, okay? And they had a specific way that things were done, okay? And it wasn't about, and you could say the same thing about the New England Patriots with their 6 championships, is there is the Patriot way, okay? And the Patriot way, very simply, is I don't necessarily care about the way that you did it somewhere else. This is how we do it here, okay? And so we created this attitude of creating the men's clinic way, okay? There wasn't Bob's way, there wasn't Matt's way, there wasn't, Dr. Caldwell's way. It was one way, and that was the men's clinic way. And everything we did was about doing it that way. Now, this did, we weren't 100 when it came down to the medical procedures. We did allow the doctors and the PAs to have some flexibility because we knew that that was very, very important. But really it was about 15 to 20% flexibility. Everything else, the way that we checked the patient in, the way that we communicated with the patient, the scripts that we had with the patient, everything in order to create that scale was specifically all about the men's clinic way. So as you get ready to scale, what you need to do is you need to ask yourself, is there a way? And is it just your way? Or is it by chance, okay? So I'm gonna, this one's gonna be just a little bit shorter. I'm gonna do a couple more today with regards to scale. I'll do another one later on this afternoon, and then probably late this afternoon. I'll probably do one around lunch. But here's the thing, is that scale, to be able to go from low 6 figures to mid 7 figures, can happen very, very quickly with a couple of adjustments. And we've done this for practice after practice. I'm going to remind you very quickly, if you want to get scale, just type the word scale below in the comment section. If you are currently getting less than $200 reimbursement rate on your insurance for office visits and you want to see that grow to $350, again, type the word scale and we'll be in contact. Okay, so this is the first of many today. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later on today.